Here is a Bulgarian cosmogonic legend of creation, recorded in 1868 among the Bulgarian diaspora in Bessarabia. It was found in the village of Diomene and appears to have been narrated by someone born just before 1830, around the time when their ancestors migrated to the Russian Empire or shortly thereafter. The legend was transcribed by a collector of Bulgarian oral heritage and subsequently published in various locations. In 1876, it was included as an appendix in an anthology titled Malo-Russian Folk Legends and Tales, which was compiled by the Ukrainian Mikhail Dragomanov. The myth is commonly referred to as God and the devil create the world amicably but then fall out. And so it begins. Initially, there were neither earth nor people. Water was everywhere. There were only the Lord and the devil, who at that time lived together. Once the Lord said to the devil, "Let's make earth and people." "Let's do it," replied the devil, "but from where shall we take the soil?" "Under the water is soil," said the Lord. "Go there and fetch some." "Fine," replied the devil. "But before you go down," the Lord said, "you should say, 'with God's power and mine.' Then you will reach the bottom and you will find soil." The devil descended, but the first time he did not recite, "with God's power and mine," but with my power and God's power, and he therefore did not reach the bottom of the primordial waters. On the second occasion he did the same and again did not reach the bottom of the primordial waters. On the third time, he, at long last, said, "with God's power and with mine." And then he reached the bottom of the primordial waters and scratched some soil with his nails. The Lord put this soil on the water and a small earth appeared. Having seen that, the devil thought of the following treachery. He invited the Lord to sleep so that when the Lord fell asleep, he would push him into the water so that he, the devil, would remain alone and be glorified as if he single-handedly had fashioned the earth. The Lord was aware of this plot but nevertheless lay down and pretended to be asleep. Then the devil got up, took the Lord in his arms and began walking towards the water in order to throw him in, but as he was walking towards the water carrying him, the earth was growing below them. When he did not reach the water, the devil turned away to another direction, still walking with God in his arms, but again he did not reach the water. Then he turned to yet another direction, and when again he could not reach the water, he placed the Lord on the earth and lay down as well next to him. When he had slept a bit, it occurred to him that one more direction remained, the fourth one. He took the Lord and carried him towards the water again, but again did not reach it. The devil then woke up the Lord. "Wake up, Lord, so that we may bless the earth. Look how big it grew while we slept." The Lord then said, "When you carried me in all four directions, in order to cast me into the water, you made the sign of a cross with me and I blessed the earth." The devil became angry because of this, abandoned the Lord and ran away from him. When the Lord remained by himself and the earth grew so much that the sun could not cover it, he then created angels in his spirit, and sent an angelic warrior to summon the devil and to ask him what to do, so that the earth would stop growing. At that time the devil had created the goat, and while coming towards the Lord, he mounted the billy goat, for which he had made a bridle with leeks. Ever since then, goats have beards. Having seen the devil riding the billy goat, the angels laughed at him and he got angry and turned black. Then, the Lord straightway created the bee and told it, "Go quickly, land on the devil's shoulder, listen to what he says and come back to tell me." The bee went, landed on the devil's shoulder while he was talking to himself, "Blimey, the Lord is so silly." It does not occur to him to take a rod and make with it a cross in all four directions and say, "Enough, earth." Instead, he is wondering what to do. Having heard this, the bee buzzed and flew off his shoulder. The devil turned, saw it and said, "May the one who sent you eat your feces." When the bee came back to the Lord, it reported what the devil had said and repeated his words, "Blimey, the Lord is so silly." It did not occur to him to take a rod and make with it a cross on earth in all four directions and say, "Enough, earth." Instead, he is wondering what to do. "But about me," uttered the bee, he said, "May the one who sent you eat your feces." The Lord did this and the earth stopped growing. He said to the bee, "May there be nothing sweeter than your feces." God then goes on to create man, and the rest of the biblical figures including Jesus. And when the Lord heard that Jesus was born, he ordered that he be baptized after 33 years, and then Jesus Christ took over the place of God and said to the devil, "I am going to take the dead from you so that they all become mine." The devil answered him, "How are you going to deprive me of them, since I and your Father have a contract according to which the living belong to him and the dead to me?" Jesus replied to him, "You have an agreement with my Father about this, but not with me." There was nothing that the devil could do. It appeared that he had tricked himself. This is how the friendship between God and the devil completely dissipated. This friendship lasted for 800,000 years from the creation of the world, until the birth of Jesus Christ. When Jesus took the dead away from him, the devil persuaded the Jews not to believe in anything that Jesus advocated. Jews obeyed the devil and began searching for Jesus, to kill him. When they could not find him because they did not know what he looked like, they inquired of one of his subordinates, Judas, to betray him to them. Judas said to them, "Come to such and such a place with me, where Jesus will also be. I will begin giving out wine for the apostles and for him, and I will cough when I am next to him, and then I will turn to you. Thus you will recognize that this is Jesus. Run and catch him." Judas betrayed Jesus, but he knew that he would be resurrected, which is why he went and hanged himself, so that when Jesus would come to save the dead from hell, he would be saved together with them. But while Judas hanged himself and went to hell, Jesus was resurrected. He had saved the dead from hell before Judas arrived there, which is why Judas remains in torment. Be sure to check out other creation myths and where they originated from.